Hi, and welcome to another episode of Business Spotlight. I am Teresa Myrick with Action Coach Tampa Bay, and we are here again with another wonderful business owner in the Tampa Bay area. So today we have Ashley Abramson joining us. And would you just go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell us about your business and how long you've been around here.
Yeah, so my name is Ashley Abramson, and I'm an inner child expert, self-love mentor. I work with people to peel back the layers of societal conditioning, programming to really figure out who they are. The method I use is called the Unicorn Effect method. I created it, and that is also the name of my business, the Unicorn Effect. I have been in the Tampa Bay area since August of 2021, when I finally woke up and realized that the 38 years I had spent in Minnesota, I never got used to the cold, and I always needed the ocean. So I finally set sail for Florida, and here I am, and I love it.
Awesome. So what got you into this kind of work?
Oh, geez. So I was essentially in my past life, a child protection worker, and I did that for over a decade. And prior to trauma and inner child work becoming the buzzwords they are today, I was trained by leading experts in the world about that. I was very progressive at the time, really understanding what they called a strength-based approach. Instead of coming into families telling them what they should do, instead understanding how to ask the right questions so they can figure out their own answers, really understanding that families hold the answers within. We don't know.
Right.
So that really started my path. And then at 32 years old, I had built the life of my dreams. I had the career, I had the car, I had the house, I had the family, and then I was getting a divorce. And very quickly, the rug was ripped out from under me, and everything that was happiness to me was gone. And I deteriorated very quickly. I was essentially killing myself without killing myself through my actions. And I was put on a performance improvement plan at work and forced to do what's now called reflective coaching, but it was reflective supervision at the time. And it really saw me as the human I was in the human services field. So it focused on, if I'm doing well at home, again, strength-based approach, then I'll do well at work. So this woman really held the light for me when I was so hopeless, and I could not see the light. And when I started to come out the other side, I never wanted another woman to feel as alone and filled with shame and guilt as I did. And it originally started with working with divorced women. And as I continue to grow, my ideal client continues to grow. So that's kind of the long short.
Awesome. So you decided to start your own thing.
Yeah.
So you just went completely away from the establishment and you started your own thing. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So working in the child protection field, it's a government ran business in the state of Minnesota. So there's a lot of red tape. I'm a very curious person. And the other day I was joking with my mentor. When I think back, I've either been kicked out or threatened to be kicked out of a lot of things because I ask questions. Right. And you don't ask questions when you work for the government, right? That's because nobody knows the answer. So they just are offended that you're even asking this question.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah. So the red tape really bothered me with, we were expected to go in and build these attachments with the family, a healthy attachment. And then when our case closed, we couldn't talk to them for 5 years. And I was like, we're just reiterating their narrative that they're not worthy. So just a lot of things didn't align. And then I think for me, as it did for many, COVID really opened my eyes to entrepreneurship, and how it just gave you a whole new light on how quickly things can be taken away from you, how quickly you can be told what to do. And so it just shined a spotlight on what I already knew. And I was like, I'm gonna start this. I started my own business, and very quickly it became, I had to say goodbye to one of them, whether it was my child protection job or the business I had built, because I was being stretched so thin, both being very emotionally intensive jobs.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So I went all in. I was like, okay, I had a mentor say to me that I wasn't truly committed. And afterwards I was like, what does he mean by that? And I was playing safe still.
Yeah.
I was trying to
Mhm.
build up a certain amount of savings and all this and stay at my job. And so that same exact day I put in I think I gave 3 or 4 weeks notice because that's pretty standard in like the government sector.
Right.
And I haven't looked back. I do not miss it at all. Even in my business, I have gone from making, a crap ton of money a month to not knowing how I was going to pay my bills another, but never once have I been like, oh, I'm going to go back to that. It's always, I got to
Awesome.
figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a different mindset altogether, right?
100%.
Yeah. So tell me, because we're talking to other business owners who are, and some may be working full time and working their business on the side or in the meantime. So tell me about that transition. Like, what was it that, let's see, how do I want to ask this? First of all, how did you make that? How did you make that transition, and what did that transition look like for you?
Yeah. So I think it was just like a light bulb moment. Like I said,
Hmm.
someone became the mirror for me to see that in fact I wasn't all in. And I
Right.
wanted to be all in. So in that moment, I took a leap of faith. I mean, my mom and my grandma had all worked for the government. No, so people didn't understand, like, what, you're leaving a retirement account, you're leaving,
Yes. Yes.
health insurance and
Absolutely.
dental insurance,
Hmm.
you're leaving that stability. Um, and that was one thing I realized at the very beginning is I grew up, in just a very stable, consistent routine and then working a 9 to 5, that at the
Hmm.
beginning, when I first went into business, I had to develop that structure for myself, which isn't always
Yes,
easy,
yes,
right?
that part right there. Because
Yeah.
it's so easy for us to follow someone else's structure and just
Mhm.
fall in. But when you have to do that for yourself, it becomes much more challenging. Because we are the governor, we are the the owner, we are the
We're
boss,
everything.
and we're not, sometimes we're not good bosses of ourselves. So
Oh,
that shows
exactly.
up. That shows up when you make this decision. So I just wanted you to talk about that transition and how difficult it can be, but how you can get through it.
Yeah, I think it's really just honoring it and giving yourself grace, right?
Mhm.
But also, one time I heard someone, and I'm awful at knowing names, so I'm sure someone big said this, but take a look, and if you were your own employee, would you fire yourself?
Yes, I've heard that.
And there was a couple times that I was like, yeah, I'd fire me. I'm not doing what I'm worth right now. And then that
Mhm.
just helped me reset and see, like, okay, what was going on in your life at that time? And a lot of times I found that it was something internal, some narrative I
Mhm.
still had not worked through,
Right.
some sort of shame or guilt. It was an avoidance technique, right? Like
Yes,
I didn't want to be
absolutely.
seen. So instead, let's watch, Netflix all day. Let's go
Mhm.
to the beach for the day with our friends because now I live in
Right.
Florida. Um,
Yeah.
so really finding that balance, but I really don't like that word balance, but what aligns with you, the dance. I call it a dance,
Right. And
right?
we call it harmony, just
Oh
finding
yeah,
that nice little harmony to get in the rhythm of what is working for you and what's going to create more productivity, but more happiness in what you're doing from day to day, you know?
exactly. Yep.
Sweet. So I'm excited. I love what you do. Do you find yourself dealing with a lot of business owners?
Yeah. I mean, it's an array from people who are owners to retirement people or, people just starting out in life.
Mhm.
Um, so it's all over the board, to be honest with you.
Who is your ideal customer?
So
Like, who is the one?
yeah, my ideal customer would be the person or the woman, actually, women are my primary client, that
Mhm.
has, done the therapy, has tried the meditation, and knows there's more, still
Mhm.
continues to get stuck. The one that takes the manifesting challenge every year and they
Yes.
manifest it, but then why are you manifesting again next year? Because
Mhm.
to me, when you set out on manifesting, you're manifesting for the purpose of happiness and peace, right? But if you have to manifest every year and it happens, then you're not really manifesting happiness or peace because that's not something that comes and goes. So you're actually
Right.
focusing on external. So really
Yes.
the woman that understands that, values investing in herself, realizes that literally everything outside of her is a projection of how she's doing inside, and knows that it's not about hiring another business coach at this time because, she knows it all, right? She's
Right.
got it all down. It's instead about doing that internal work to figure out how to clearly show up for herself,
Mhm.
in the midst of business.
Right, exactly. I love that because sometimes we find that we can tell you all the things to do because it's easy to find what to do. It's easy to have someone, give you the guidance, but it's more of the why aren't you doing it? What's keeping you
Yeah.
from doing that? Like getting to the bottom of that, like, is this something you really value or just something that you want because of exterior,
Yes.
circumstances? So yeah, I love that because it takes all of that to be a whole person. You
Mhm.
can't just be a business person and your personal life is going astray,
Exactly.
right? It takes the whole gamut of it. So I love that. So tell me, what keeps you going from day to day? What keeps you
Um,
inspired?
yeah. So back in my early teens, I came across a book by Ram Dass. I don't know if you're familiar with who he
Mm-mm.
is.
Mhm.
But it's called Be Here Now. And I absolutely fell in love with him. And I'm a person when I find something I resonate with, I just like soak it all in. And that's what I did. And he has a quote and it says, "We're all just walking each other home." And I truly believe that. So what keeps
Mm.
me going every day is my part in that quote, my part in walking my fellow brother, my fellow sister back home, and getting through this journey and providing the opportunity to be able to do that.
That is awesome. That's wonderful. Tell me the two last things. What do you see as the future of your company, your business, and how we can find you?
Oh, the future. So just massive impact. I spoke recently at a mutual networking group that you and I are a part of, and
Mhm.
I was at home. So I kind of say, watch out, Tony Robbins, here I come.
Mhm.
And then I'm about to launch another podcast. And then I say, watch out, Joe Rogan, here I come.
Nice,
So
nice.
I really see myself as a disruptor, someone coming in, but graciously, right? Not very
Mhm.
abrasively, but like, here's a new way of thinking, and
Right.
I'm ready to offer it to the world. So that's what I see for the future of my business and how people can get in touch with me. Right now, my website is under construction. So the best would be Instagram. Follow
Mhm.
me, Ash_Abramson. And then send me an email, Ashley@coachwithashley.net, which of course contains what my website will be when it's back up and running, coachwithashley.net. And I
Mhm.
just love to have conversations. Just reach out, I love conversations because I truly live my life by we're all just walking each other home.
I love it. Thank you so much for your time. This has been such a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
I'll have all our information listed below the video. Thank you guys for watching again, and we'll see you again next time.